breakfast. My senior sipped the tea, and it seemed to make him feel better, maybe because Mama put a little paregoric in the tea, the way you do for babies with the colic. Papa said, "Too much store-bought candy will always give a body colic." But after that, my senior got the colic even when he didn't have any store-bought candy. After the Christmas candy was long gone, he still had the terrible cramps and would wake up in the middle of the night crying. Mama would hold him in her lap and rock him by the fire, and Papa or one of us girls would hold him while Mama made pennyroyal tea. Then after he drunk the tea with some paregoric, he would feel better and might even sleep a little. That was a bad winter, not only because it was colder than usual, but because of the ice storms and the snows. It looked like the woods had been chopped down, there were so many trees broke by the ice. Sleet is hardest on pine trees because so much ice gathers on their needles. I doubt if there was a pine tree standing whole on the mountain. And when it snowed, it was a heavy, wet snow that broke down more trees and made barns and sheds and even houses cave in. The church house at Poplar Springs fell down. Because Papa had the cough, my sister Lou and me did the heavy work outside. We got in eggs and fed the stock and carried in wood and water from the spring. I hated how everybody expected me to do the outside work. If there was a heavy job, it just fell naturally to me, and sometimes Lou, like it always had. The weather was bad so long we nearly run out of firewood. I took the axe into the woods and chopped up a blow-down tree, and then I hitched up the horse Sally to the sled and drug in a load. My hands like to froze, it was so wet and cold. "Julie can work like a man," Mama said when I brought the load of wood into the front room. "Somebody's got to work like a man," I said, and dropped the logs on the edge of the hearth. My hands got rough from the cold and the hard work. I rubbed grease on them at night to soften the calluses and moisten the dry skin. I would have liked to have kept my hands soft, the way Rosie did hers. During the terrible winter when Papa took the chest consumption, we didn't hardly get off the mountain, and we almost run out of cornmeal. If Papa did the least little thing, he would start coughing and get so weak he couldn't hardly sit up. He'd always been such a strong man before that it embarrassed him to be so helpless. Mama liked to say, "Now you can do without a lot of things, but a family can't do without cornmeal. If you run out of meal, you don't have any bread and you don't have any mush, and you don't have anything to fry fish in, or squirrels. When the meat runs out and the taters run out, the only thing that will keep you going is the cornbread. You can live a long time on bread and collard greens if you have collard greens, and you can live a long time on bread alone if you have to, in spite of what the Bible says." We got down to the last peck of cornmeal in the bin, and then to the last gallon. Mama started skimping on the size of the corn pone she baked every morning. "My senior won't get better if he don't have plenty to eat," Mama said, "and your papa won't either." "Maybe we'll freeze to death before we starve," I said. "Don't talk that way," Mama said. "You take some corn down to the mill." There was still ice on the trees and snow on the ground, but I seen what I was going to have to do. I resented it, but I seen what had to be done. The road was too slick and steep for either the wagon or the sled. I couldn't carry enough corn on my back down the mountain and back up. Even if my sister Lou went with me, we couldn't carry enough between us. Lou was the toughest of my sisters. She was almost as strong as me. I saw that the only way to take a bushel of corn to mill was to sling it over the horse's back and lead her down the mountain. It would take both me and Lou to lead Sally. "Lou, you're going to have to help me," I said. "Why ain't I surprised?" Lou said. Took us all day to get down the mountain, wait for the turn of corn to be ground while the men eyed us and told jokes, and then lead Sally back up the trail. We got home a little after dark, and the sacks was damp. But we had enough fresh meal to last a few weeks until the weather opened up, and Papa was well enough to drive the wagon down the mountain. But even with plenty of cornbread and milk,